This is my dog Money. He's my co-host. When I posted my last video, I said that I experienced a Kundalini awakening over the past year. What is a Kundalini awakening? Where do we begin? So here's a story for you. Last year, everything that I say on this YouTube channel is absolute truth. I met a guy on Hinge. We were just gonna hang out. He didn't want a relationship, I didn't want a relationship. How it goes. We realized that we had an outrageous amount of things in common. We had actually really lived like parallel lives, right? He had Crohn's disease, I have Crohn's disease. He helped raise his 3 younger sisters, I raised my 2 younger sisters. Child trauma. We kind of looked alike too, which I think is funny. This guy could be my best friend. I mean, I was belly laughing, aching the very first time we met. The night goes on and we get to talking more. We decide to cuddle. That's when everything snapped. Turned on. Literally the instant that I laid down with this man, electric charges went up and down my entire body, but mainly in my spine. I started experiencing visions. The first question that I'm gonna get is like, are you serious? Did that really happen, or are you just telling a story? Everything that I'm telling you is 100% true, and it's hard to believe. I could hardly believe it myself. If it wasn't my life, shoot, I didn't know these things really existed. 1 minute, I was just hanging out with somebody I had just met, you know, thinking, ooh, what is this gonna turn into? The next thing I know, I remembered seeing him in past lives, just flashes of knowing this man and loving this man throughout history. I remembered, oh, my heart just swells talking about it now. Electric charges went on my spine. I don't know how else to say it. I remembered him from World War II. I remembered being gorillas. I remembered being Jesus and Mary. These are all just visions that I had. And it scared me. It scared me so bad. I thought that he had drugged me because I had never experienced anything like this. This was sober. It was magical. There's no other explanation about it. Look at my third eye. And it was an instant love, not just, oh my gosh, I love him, but it was, I feel loved. And it wasn't by him, it was, I felt the presence of God. I felt the love of God, that unconditional knowing. I felt known in every single sense of being. I felt loved. How would you react? Just put yourself in that situation. What do you do? What are you thinking? Thankfully, as it turns out, what I did not know was that he was already awakened. He was already enlightened. So he knew about the term twin flame. I had no idea what that meant. I started researching it. It's still a little bit of a mystery, honestly. You know, people say that your twin is your other half. No, they say that your twin is you. From my perspective, I do believe that he is me. He is my soul, not split into 2, but kind of multiplied. So same soul, 2 different beings. We just wound up living these exact parallel lives. Exact parallel lives to this day, to this very moment. I can go into that later, but throughout my research, what I learned was that what I had actually experienced during that time was a Kundalini awakening. The very bottom of your spine, above your tailbone, is a stored ball of energy that lies dormant for a variety of reasons. We get cut off from the energy centers in our body. For me personally, it was just a lot going on up here, so much going on up here that I wasn't even noticing my body. Just like right now, a little exercise between your left and your right foot. Can you feel the space in between them? Can you move your attention up between your knees? Can you move that back down towards your shins? That's you moving and exploring your energy centers. The normal person on the normal basis, we live our everyday lives where we just don't pay attention to things like that. And yes, maybe you can feel the space in between your feet, but had you been thinking about it, had you noticed it, had you really felt it before I said anything. Most people don't. It's just not a part of our 2020 society to pay attention to the different parts in our body and what they mean. These are called the chakras. You can think the chakras are woo-woo and that they're make-believe, but it's true. When you start really exploring these different energy centers in your body, it's like unlocking magical powers. I've said it before, but that's like my whole big thing, is this is what Jesus was trying to teach us. This is what Jesus went around to the different places and the miracles he was performing, the healing, the miraculous, the telepathy, the mind reading. It's all possible for us, for you and me, everybody today. It's just we have to start getting familiar with our bodies and these chakra systems. Before you can do that, you got to sort out a lot in here, which is what I'm doing right now. It's so amazing. So if you practice yoga, if you practice meditation, this is something that like Buddha, all the masters of the world, Kuan Yin, Dalai Lama, they worked for years and years and years and years to meditate long enough to work their practice in order to unlock their center divinity and awaken this Kundalini. What's exciting, what I'm trying to teach is that that wasn't my path at all. I don't know what to call him, but my twin, my parallel partner, I'll call him my Jod, protects his identity, I think, a little bit. That's what happened with Jod as well, is that the Kundalini awakened just suddenly, sporadically, all of a sudden. Supernatural, seems like magic is happening, you don't know what's going on, it's just all of a sudden. Nobody told me that this was possible. This seems like something out of a science fiction movie, because the other thing is when that happens, the energy travels all and opens up all of those chakras, including your third eye, which is what gives you insight into the other dimensions and spiritual worlds and people that experience the sight, that are able to see other beings, other entities, angels, ancestors, ghosts, demons, ETs, things like that. Prophecy, prophetic visions, that's all your third eye. It has like normal, whatever normal is. It has typical uses too that people teach, such as like your wisdom, intuition, knowing what is right for you and what's not right for you. That all comes from your third eye. You can do this stuff online, and I'll try to put some resources together if anybody else is interested or has experienced anything like this. Another example of things that start happening when your Kundalini awakens, just weird things start happening, supernatural. It's magnetic energy that's flowing through your body at all times, but the more power, the stronger it gets, that power starts to affect your outside world as well. So electronics start going a little wonky, like the lights can start flickering randomly, your phone will malfunction. I don't know if you can see like the space next to me on the couch. If you see like floaties through the air, or you're just seeing, sometimes it looks like glitter. I'll wake up now and it's like the room will be filled with glitter, like just lights everywhere, while you're seeing energy, and energy is alive. I don't try to figure out like who, what, where, why it's happening, where it's coming from, who is it good, is it bad? I don't try to figure that stuff out anymore, because it's all just energy. Everything in the universe is conspiring only to help you, not harm you, just help you grow in whatever way you need to grow. An example of that, just to see what I'm talking about, is just start looking at space. Start looking at the walls and see if you see little flutters. I started taking pictures of like the sky, because I got some really good pictures of things flying across on my phone. The stars will start moving as well. I'd love somebody to try this and just let me know. Another big part of this awakening, this spiritual awakening, was when I noticed that the stars could move. And just next time you're out, if you're feeling bold, if you're feeling brave, if you're feeling like this is crazy and you want to prove me wrong, try it. Go out, pick a star, pick the brightest star, and just watch it. Just watch it for a while. Don't try to make anything happen. Just see if it does. Something tells me that they'll start waving back at you, and I hope you feel just love, infinite wonder, because things are shifting very quickly, and it'll be awesome if you are a part of it. Let's see, I think that's pretty much my Kundalini awakening story. In summary, this is something that the masters back in the day practiced and practiced and practiced. Years of yoga, meditation, Pilates, Tai Chi, things like that, breath work. The mystery schools used to teach this in ancient Egypt, consciously with your breath work, just moving energy up and down your body. But if it happened to me in the blink of an eye, in just an instant, something tells me that that's going to become a lot more common, that a lot more of us are going to start choosing that path to wake up so that we can start serving the planet the way that we're intended. At the time and over the past year, it certainly didn't feel like something that I chose or would have chosen for myself, because it was so weird and just inexplicable that I felt very isolated and alone, and I hid it for a very long time. Like getting your spiritual period almost, because think back to elementary school, some of you middle school, if you were the first one like in your little circle to get your period, then it was embarrassing, and maybe you hid it, you were afraid to tell anybody because you didn't really know what it meant, or it meant you were growing up too fast and you would have to like leave certain parts of you behind. Oh, I remember what it was like. And basically that's what I was experiencing over the past year. This is something that everybody, all souls, go through just at their own time. And it just happens that I was the first one that I knew of anybody of this happening to. So I didn't know how to ask for help. I didn't know what resources to use. Thankfully, I'm very resourceful and have really dived in over the past year learning about it. So if this happens to anybody else that I know, I feel like I'm a really great resource to help. And I don't want it to be scary or shameful or anything like that. Those were feelings that I went through that they didn't serve a purpose. There's no need. It's completely normal. It's the most natural experience, and everybody will experience it one time or another. It might not be this lifetime, but it very well could be. All right. So I hope, ask questions, because I don't really know, because this topic is so new and foreign to me and a lot of people. I don't really know how I'm doing, how I'm teaching, or how I'm communicating the meaning of it unless I hear feedback. So if you have any questions or comments, things that I need to explain more, things I need to I know I jump around a lot in my storytelling. That's the other dimensions, ADD, attuned to different dimensions. So just please, I'd love to know what y'all are feeling, what y'all are thinking, so that I can do better and share more of this with people. All right, thank you so much. I feel like I should start saying something like namaste or like love and light. So thank you.